What is up, you beautiful minds? Welcome back to the channel where we take the most complex, brain-melting tech news and turn it into something you can actually enjoy while sitting in your favorite chair with a massive bag of snacks. Today, we are diving into something that sounds like a sci-fi movie plot but actually happened at a teenager's birthday party. Imagine a world where you don't need to spend 4 years learning C++ or Python just to make a digital ball bounce on a screen. Imagine a world where the magic wand isn't a piece of wood from a fantasy novel, but a flashing cursor in a terminal. We're talking about the incredible evolution of our AI-assisted coding. Specifically, the absolute beast that is Claude.ai, and a viral story that's been making waves in the tech community. This story involves a birthday party, 10 teenagers, 0 coding experience, and 10 fully functional video games built in just 2 hours. This isn't just a cool story, bro moment. It's a scientific look at how the barrier between human thought and machine execution is basically dissolving. Faster than a sugar cube in a hot cup of coffee. But before we get to the party, we need to talk about our guest of honor, Claude. If you've been living under a rock, and hey, rocks are cool. They have great insulation. Claude is the brainchild of Anthropic didn't just want to build another chatbot. That tells you I'm sorry, I cannot fulfill that request. They wanted to build something with constitutional AI. Essentially, they gave Claude a moral compass. In the beginning, Claude 1 and 2 were like that really polite librarian who knew everything but was a little shy. They were great at writing essays and summarizing long PDFs, but they weren't exactly coding wizards yet. Then came the Claude 3 family: Haiku, Sonnet, and Opus. This was the turning point. Suddenly, the AI wasn't just predicting the next word, it was understanding logic structures. It started beating the competition in coding benchmarks. But the real game changer, the one that leads us to today's story, is Claude 3.5 Sonnet and the release of Claude Code 2. This isn't just a chat window where you copy-paste code. It's a tool that lives inside the computer's terminal, capable of seeing the whole project, fixing bugs, and building entire environments on its own. It's like moving from asking a chef for a recipe to having a master chef literally standing in your kitchen. So, let's get to the juicy part. Our source for today is a fascinating report originally shared by Sergej Epp, who happens to be the Chief Information Security Officer (CISO) at Sysdig. This story blew up on LinkedIn and was quickly picked up by tech outlets. Because it perfectly illustrates the democratization of creation, Sergej decided to run a little experiment. His son was having a birthday party. Now, usually, at a 13-year-old's birthday party, you expect a lot of pizza grease, some questionable loud music, and a solid 8 hours of the kids screaming at each other while playing Fortnite or Roblox. But Sergej had a different idea. He decided to turn the party into a mini hackathon. He sat these kids down in front of Claude Code and basically said, "Hey, instead of playing games, why don't you just make them?" Here is the scientific kicker. Most of these kids had absolutely zero experience with coding. They didn't know what a variable was, they didn't know how to close a bracket, and they certainly didn't know how to debug a logic error. But they had Claude. And within 2 hours, roughly the time it takes to watch a superhero movie, these teenagers created over 10 different games. Now, let's pause and look at the science of why this is insane. In traditional programming, there is a massive cognitive load. You have to think about the syntax, the logic, the memory management, and the user interface all at once. It's like trying to write a novel while also having to manufacture the paper and ink from scratch. With Claude Code, the AI handles the manufacturing, the syntax, and the heavy lifting, allowing the human to focus entirely on the intent, the story, the mechanics, the fun. One of the 13-year-olds at the party didn't just type "make a game." He wrote a prompt that was over a page long. He detailed the mechanics, the atmosphere, the rules, and the setting. This is what we call prompt engineering, but really, it's just returning to the art of clear communication. The AI acted as a translator, turning high-level human imagination into low-level machine code in near real time. The kids weren't just consumers of digital content anymore. They were creators. They skipped the learning to use the hammer phase and went straight to building the house. This transition from consumption to creation is a massive cultural shift. Sergej Epp noted that the kids found more satisfaction in seeing their own ideas come to life than they did in just chasing high scores in a pre-made game. This is the dopamine hit of the future, folks. It's the "I built this" feeling, powered by a large language model that understands your ramblings. Head. Let's talk about why this matters for the rest of us, the adults, who have jobs and responsibilities and don't get invited to cool birthday hackathons. This isn't just about making Flappy Bird clones. This is about the future of work. We are entering an era where AI like Claude acts as a force multiplier. In the professional world, coding is no longer just for programmers. If you're a data analyst, an accountant, or a creative director, the ability to use Claude Code means you can build your own custom tools. Need a script that organizes 5,000 messy spreadsheets? Just ask. Need a custom dashboard that tracks your home's energy usage? Describe it. The barrier to entry for building software is hitting the floor. Scientifically speaking, we are seeing the rise of natural language programming. For decades, we tried to teach humans to speak computer. Now, we've finally taught the computer to speak human, and Claude is leading the pack because of its nuance. Unlike some other AIs that might give you code that looks okay, but crashes the moment you run it, Claude's recent updates have made it incredibly robust. It can self-correct. If it writes code that has an error, it can actually see the error in the terminal and fix it before you even realize something went wrong. It's like having a coworker who never sleeps, never complains about the coffee, and actually fixes their own mistakes. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Crazy maybe. Is this going to take away all the coding jobs? Well, let's look at the crazy maybe philosophy on this. Think about when the calculator was invented. Mathematicians didn't disappear. They just started solving much harder problems. When we have 13-year-olds building games in 2 hours, it means the professional developers of the future won't be wasting time on basic boilerplate code. They'll be architecting massive, complex systems that we can't even imagine yet. They'll be the conductors of an AI orchestra. The story from Sergej Epp's house, which, by the way, you can actually find the games online if you look for the links associated with his LinkedIn post. It's a prototype for the future of education. We don't need structured programs or traditional lessons to get kids interested in tech anymore. We just need to give them the right tools and the freedom to experiment. Imagine a school where history class involves building a VR simulation of ancient Rome using Claude. Imagine a biology class where you code a simulation of a cell's mitochondria. The AI is the bridge that makes these things possible. So, what have we learned today while we were relaxing and hanging out? First, Claude.ai has evolved from a polite text summarizer into a full-blown development partner. Second, the power of AI isn't in replacing us, but in lowering the activation energy required to start something new. Third, if a group of teenagers can outprogram most adults while eating birthday cake, we definitely need to level up our game. The Claude Code experiment proves that the most important skill in the 21st century isn't knowing where the semicolons go in a line of code. It's knowing how to describe a vision. It's about logic, creativity, and the ability to iterate. We are all becoming engineers of intent. As we wrap this up, just think about what you could build in 2 hours. You don't need a degree, you don't need a massive budget, and you don't even need a birthday party. You just need a prompt and a little bit of that what if. Spirit AI is growing, its possibilities are expanding, and the tools are getting sharper every single day. Whether it's for work support, creating art, or building the next viral indie game, the power is literally at your fingertips. Or rather, it's at your words. So, go out there, stay curious, and maybe just maybe try building something today instead of just scrolling through it. This is the era of the creator, and thanks to Claude and the amazing development of LLMs, the only limit is how much you're willing to type. Thanks for hanging out, stay crazy, and I'll catch you in the next one.